And so the wrinkles, the blemishes, the shadows, the hair, whatever it is. But I love that they're willing to go and say, so this is one filter removed, this is another filter removed, and all the way down.
Wow.
And I think that for me was really eye-opening, because you think, okay, I've lived some life. I have some, like I said, discernment. But what about younger girls? And what about younger
Yes.
adolescents and people that look at all these people on these various platforms as influencers and thinking, wow, like everybody has perfect skin, like everybody's just flawless. And why does my skin look like this? So I think it's brilliant that there are those brave souls willing to shed some of the reality around those.
Real women, real lives, real stories. This is the Ladies in Power podcast. Unfiltered, unscripted, and refreshingly authentic. We are not holding back, and maybe after this, neither will you. Let's go. Welcome to the Ladies in Power podcast. My name is Meeka Caissie.
I'm Sandeep Bhatha.
Dr. Soraya.
Gurvinder Dhol.
And we are Ladies in Power just like you. And for all of those men listening, thank you. You are very, very, very smart, getting ahead of the game, doing your best to get inside the minds of us wonderful women. Bravo.
Bravo indeed.
Bravo. Today, we are talking about the influence of influencers. Have you ever watched a commercial and seen someone that you know, someone you like? It could be a pro athlete. It could be somebody from your favorite movie or TV show, and you buy something because they say it's fabulous. The influencers do have influence on us, sometimes whether we recognize it or not. And today we're going to talk about the pros, the cons, how they influence us, and I think it's a fabulous topic to think about how we're being primed, how we're being influenced, whether we're conscious of it or not. And hopefully you'll walk away from this podcast with some new ahas and some new ways of thinking and using your critical thinking in everyday life. So I think this was a fabulous idea for a topic, ladies. And I wonder who would like to start first.
I think Gurvinder should, because this whole podcast started because of something she shared with us. So go ahead and tell us what you saw.
I was watching, TV was on, and I saw a commercial with Ted Danson, and Ted Danson was promoting gambling. And I just paused and watched the commercial, and I was in disbelief. Why are celebrities promoting gambling for seniors?
What did the commercial say? Like, what made you think he was promoting it?
Oh, because he was in a commercial for a gambling app that was geared towards, and because Ted Danson, you're a senior citizen now.
No, watch
He's gonna love that one.
Sorry. Sorry, Ted. He was talking about how easy it was for them to find this app and then go on this app and gamble. And I was very sad. I was very sad watching it, going, why? Why would a celebrity who does have influence promote something that isn't worthy being there for another human? I don't understand gambling, and I don't believe it's a good outlet. That's just my opinion. So that's where I asked you guys if anybody else had seen it and what their thoughts on it could be.
I would like to share that I watch YouTube videos. Okay, so as a woman whose skin is not as young as my heart, I'm looking to find creative ways to look younger. And it's amazing, all these influencers. I think back to in my 20s and 30s when I was at the height of my modeling career and my film career, and I was thinking of Cindy Crawford and Christy Brinkley and these gorgeous models and Revlon, and you think about like how they do these commercials for makeup.
Yeah.
And I would buy the makeup because the beautiful women would promote the makeup. And I'm like, oh my gosh, they're having influence on me, which has a danger because if they're promoting something based on what looks good on them, which, and I must admit, in my experience in that industry for almost 3 decades, when a dress looks fabulous, chances are behind the dress there's 30 pens and there's a clip, and the flawless legs have not all the time, sometimes been airbrushed, or the makeup is not actually the makeup that they're promoting
Oh,
all
wow.
over their face. So it could be skincare for something with a different brand of lipstick. And the lipstick is what draws you in because their lips look so fabulous, yet they're promoting the skincare.
Mm.
So it's really learning to use your brain and differentiate and be not skeptical, because I don't think skepticism is a good thing. It's about well, I'm getting into the solution now, and I think I should wait for that. That's my story about influencers, and they've had a tremendous influence on me.
Well, advertisement is influencing, and we've had advertisement forever. Whether it's the car that's going to make you happy, the Louis Vuitton bag that's going to bring the joy, whatever it is, it's been going on forever. So I guess what we're asking here today is, do influencers or people who do the advertising have a responsibility for researching what they're promoting is exactly what it is that they're promoting? For example, if it is the lipstick, are they actually using it on their face, or are they talking about sometimes you look at an ad and you go, what exactly are they promoting? Like, I think, Gurvinder, you're talking about an ad that was two comedians interacting, and then you were like, it was funny, but I wasn't sure what the ad was about. And again, it was another
It was another gambling.
gambling ad. Sometimes I look at an ad and I'm like, what exactly are they advertisement? Is it the underwear or is it the car? Like, you're confused. But at the end of the day, I think we have a responsibility to promote only things that we feel either we've used, we know it's going to be beneficial, or at least it's not harmful. So in that, I agree with you, Gurvinder. In that, I think, especially senior citizens, because my father, I've shared this before, loved gambling, and it eventually became an addiction. Let's not promote something to the senior citizens that is going to affect them adversely. So in that, I agree with you.
And yet they do all the time. They will prey on the vulnerable. Sandeep, have you had an experience with influencers, and what are your thoughts? What's your story on that?
Yeah, so as we were talking, I think my mind is sort of spinning because right off the bat, I have to start with the premise that I must be under the influence of influencers. So now my mind was kind of reeling like, okay, I think I'm very savvy and I think I've got pretty good discernment skills. However, where, when, and how am I under the influence? I must be. So I was just trying to think of what is it that um, I've been influenced by, and I'm actually just thinking of the wall right now. And when and I'm social media, so I think, going on to Instagram, that's my muse. But when I'm on Instagram and I see podcasters, they always have this beautiful wall, paneled wall, and they have plants and they have a variety of lighting. So I can admit right now that that must have been an influence on me
Oh, nice.
to select this wall as something we were adding into this room. And so that is already an example of being influenced. Now, is that a negative influence? I'm not sure. I guess as we carry on the discussion, I will come to some kind of thought about that or conclusion around it. But I think there's positive influence. I see plenty of that as well, where uh, people are bravely going on to social media channels, and I'll see women, they'll start off with the full filter and I'm not sure what all the features are, and they remove one filter at a time.
I
And
haven't
so
seen that.
this has been really powerful because I think had I not known that, and by the end, they're still the most beautiful woman, but just with the real reality of life. And so the wrinkles, the blemishes, the shadows, the hair, whatever it is, But I love that they're willing to go and say, so this is one filter removed, this is another filter removed, and all the way down.
Wow.
And I think that for me was really eye-opening because you think, okay, I've lived some life. I have some, like I said, discernment. But what about younger girls and what about younger
Yes.
adolescents and people that look at all these people on these various platforms as influencers and thinking, wow, like everybody has perfect skin, like
Mhm.
everybody's just flawless. And why does my skin look like this? So I think it's brilliant that there are those brave souls willing to shed some of the reality around those. But I think all of us, it would be very wise to think about what are the influences that we're under and are they serving us or is it a detriment to us?
It's amazing. I think about Dolly Parton and her influence. If you look at her, if you listen to her story, she's just turned 80 and she's phenomenal. I just love Dolly Parton. And she didn't see herself as, she saw herself as average or, dare I say, below average as a young girl and wanted to be a star. And so she started to wear wigs and she started to wear funky makeup and then she had breast implants and she made it about her tiny little waist and her big shoes. And she created a brand around herself. And the thing is that somehow, in my eyes, she's not influencing women to get breast implants and wear wigs. Even though that was her choice, she's not using that to influence. She's using
Mm.
the brilliance of her mind coming from a family of, I think there were 13 kids growing up on a farm. They had very little. And she uses her influence to show you can have anything that you want. You can overcome if you work hard, focus on the positives, do good for others. It's about contribution. Don't be selfish. She has this vibe throughout her life and you see her with her voice and being on talk shows. If you watch some of her videos from the last 10, 20, 30 years, she's influencing this, but it's not influencing how she looks. So I find it a really interesting line.
Yeah, I see
How
what,
did she
yeah,
do
yeah.
that? So
Well, yeah, okay. So when Mika is talking, I'm thinking Mother Teresa, okay, the biggest influencer of all time. She never went out there and said, look at me, or here I am, or she saw a need, she stepped in, and she consistently delivered. I mean, those were our role models, at least when I was growing up. I think there were values that was honor, truthfulness, being compassionate, that my age group valued. We looked up to people like her or, Martin Luther King or even boxers like Muhammad Ali Clay. They constantly delivered and their message was clear. Be honest, be loyal, be a man or step up. And now I'm thinking the influencers are more either superficial, look at my breast, but really I haven't had a breast implant. Look at how cute I am, but I haven't had a nose job. Did they, didn't they? There's this like discussion, what surgery they did or didn't do. And it's all about how much wealth we have and less about how we collected it.
Mhm.
Like the influencers today, and I don't know many of them, it's all about what you can do to make more money, be more beautiful. And nobody is talking about the qualities that used to matter. But that could be just my perception. Anybody else
that
has a
is
point?
You're
so
so right.
fantastic.
Ugh.
Well, that's a mic drop moment. Thank
Mic
you.
drop.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you for that is spectacular, Massa.
And I think that's where I came
Wow.
with the celebrities promoting gambling. Where are their morals at? Where are their ethics at? Are they the thing that
Mm,
gets to me is, are they gambling? And is that the reason why they are promoting this?
beautiful.
And I believe that they are not. I believe that none of these celebrities that are promoting gambling towards young kids or sports fanatics or senior citizens, the two commercials I have witnessed, they are not gambling themselves. And it goes to what you said, they're not doing it. Where are the morals? Where are the ethics? Where is the I love this thing. Therefore, I want you to experience it too.
Mm.
But instead, and I don't know this for sure, but I believe it's all about the Benjamins.
The money. She means the money.
Yes.
Um,
Which is, it makes me so angry that society has come to this. And when you were talking about morals, like, and the whole, did she do a nose job? Did she not? Can we just be honest and truthful? Can we just be honest and truthful and walk our walk? Why can't we go back to that?
I agree because as a woman who hasn't, like, I don't have Botox in my face, I don't have lip injections, and I think for me, I hear so many women, I ask them straight up and they're like, nope, 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 I don't have anything. And I'm like, wow, I aged really poorly. Like, I start looking at myself and thinking, well, if she really doesn't have anything, like, why do I feel like I look so dramatically different? And it's it's powerful when people are honest and when they're not honest. And why I mention that is because it comes back to the responsibility of the person who is in that influenced role, the role of being influenced. Do I receive that as, wow, your skin is spectacular? That's amazing. I really need to look at my skincare, or maybe it's what I'm eating, or, her genetics are fantastic. Or do I go to, she's lying, or do I go to, like, there's so many different ways that I can answer that question. I take responsibility for that. And it's, again, noticing what we're noticing, being willing to look at, how does that land on me? I love how you're taking responsibility for how that Ted Danson ad landed on you and talking about it. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Pamela Anderson is all about au naturel and no makeup. And, there's a lot of work there that's done. There's, whether it's plastic surgery or it's fillers or whatever it is. So it's great that there's no makeup. What is underneath that, and what is the message? What is she influencing people to do? Is she influencing, or how are people being influenced? I think there's two sides. I hope that makes sense.
Well, listening to the two of you, I just wanted to make something clear for me. Like, for example, Botox. I use it around my eyes. I use it around my forehead, and look at me. Look how perfectly
Fabulous.
smooth it is. So I want to make the differentiation here. A woman may use Botox, and so many do, and don't want to tell their husbands, their best friends. That's their prerogative. I don't think that you should ask a woman, are you using makeup and Botox, and she should be able to tell you yes or no. That's her life. That's her business. But if a woman comes and says, I don't use anything, and this is how I look because I use Cream X, that is misleading. There's a difference here. I'm not sitting here saying I look this good because I don't use any other product except X here. But whether I use it or not, and I don't want to share it with my friends, that's my private life. So if you want to, for example, do whatever, and it only pertains to you, hurts you, or benefits you, fine. But if you are a leader of a country, for example, you happen to be Prince Charles or his brother, Prince Andrew, we all look up to Prince Andrew. So the last place...
Who's Prince Andrew?
Wait. So England, in London, where I grew up, at the time there was Prince Charles, who married Diana, and we all know that did not go well. So nobody really spoke highly of Prince Charles because of that whole Diana incident. He wasn't really in love with her. The marriage was very upset. The whole Diana and Charles saga was always going on when I was growing up. But Prince Andrew, the younger brother of Prince Charles, was every young girl's prince. Everyone wanted to be married to Prince Andrew. He was cuter, he was quieter, he wasn't in the spotlight, but he had all the privileges of a prince should. I should add that. He had the security guard, he had the house, he had everything. And unfortunately, a couple of years ago, it came out that he was visiting the Epstein Island, and not just once. So England asked him to step down, and he's no longer a prince. Why did we talk about all of this? Because in my eye, he shattered every girl's dream of what a prince with dignity, and especially England, which there is so much history, so much culture,
Influence.
so much influence. And, those are the acts that I am. If he wasn't a prince and he wanted to do whatever, it's his prerogative. But when you're put in a position of power, and when you have a whole country looking at you, you're held morally responsible to carry yourself a certain way.
Yes.
And I think that is being stripped away, because as long as someone is rich or powerful, as a society, we're accepting them as a good human being.
All right.
She's on fire today, ladies
She's
and
on
gentlemen.
fire, but I just have to interject and say he was not every woman's dream.
Okay, maybe.
I take exception to that. Never,
But you
ever.
didn't live in England.
Okay.
You didn't live in
But he was
England.
never, ever.
Yes.
Ever somebody, and even Prince Charles, and even the princes. Like, it's our own, it's perhaps, we could say maybe
Yes,
you,
you're
but
right. It was mine, because
please.
I read the Mills and Boom. I read the romantic books. I did. Fabio.
yes.
Fabio is still in there somewhere in my brain.
And so anyway, that's just a
Good
funny,
point.
funny
Good
interjection.
point,
I have to, yes,
Sandeep.
thank you,
Good
thank you. I just
point.
had to speak up for myself, because I'm like, God, no, I cannot. I cannot be brought into that umbrella of everybody's dream.
Even Fabio influenced people.
Yes.
Fabio
100%.
influenced how men were supposed to look, with these ripped bodies and the blonde hair. And then, like, there's so much influence going on in it's remarkable. Breast implants are influenced.
Yes.
Being really skinny, can influence people to, not eat or throw up, and
100%.
create
Bulimia.
psychological issues, because they want to fit a certain narrative. Wanting to have certain things can put people in bankruptcy, because they see an influencer online that lives in this beautiful house, and this person says, it started with the car. I got the car, and that gave me confidence, and so then everybody looked at me with this car, and then I thought I was something, and so they go and they get the car, and they end up bankrupt and miserable, because they thought the car was going to give them the feeling of the influencer that they're watching. It's all around us. I think another word for influence is
Brainwash?
Marketing.
It's marketing. It's priming. It's
that's the question that's coming up for me actually now as we're talking is, this is the question I'm coming up with. I'm developing my own answers too, but what is at the root of influence? So how did influence ever come about? Exactly. So
Money.
What is she saying?
Money.
She's gesturing with her fingers.
Yeah, money.
It's about
Yeah, it's all about money and power.
So something to think about is when we are allowing ourselves to be under the influence of someone else or something else, we may not realize that we're lining someone else's pockets with money.
Yes.
And fame or power or whatever it is. So that's something it's just coming to me, like, where did influence begin?
What if it's not money and power? What if
What
it's
else could it-
belonging?
Belonging, yeah.
What do you mean? I don't understand that.
Belonging, you want to feel a part of somebody, something, a tribe. People go against their values and their belief systems to belong. It's higher on the hierarchy of needs. Human needs is the sense of belonging. And so you will break your own morals and beliefs and values to belong. It happens in tribes, in churches, in politics, it happens all over. People do things because they want to be part of a movement, part of something. Good, bad, right, or wrong. It's a belonging. So I don't know that it's always money.
Good point.
But you're
Good
also
point.
speaking about the other side of that equation. So my question was more about what's the influencer motivated by? And you might be speaking about the influencee, the one who is being influenced. They
Yes,
may wish to
yes,
belong,
yes.
which in turn actually does then sort of lend evidence to then the influencer is gaining some sort of group, that they're putting together. They're gaining more numbers.
Charles Manson.
Who's Charles Manson?
Charles Manson was a huge influencer, not in a positive way. He got a number of people to commit a number of murders in the United States. The most famous one was an actress, Sharon Tate, I believe was her name. And the interesting part was he didn't actually commit the murders himself. He just convinced people to do them. Of course, the positive end of the story is he was held responsible and he did go to jail. But it just shows what influencing a large number of people, if you're a good influencer, what you can achieve.
Mhm.
Wow.
Wow, that was incredible. Yeah.
So that was a cult, right?
It
Like,
was a cult. He had a cult of people following him. And for some reason, I don't remember the details, he convinced his people that they had to kill others for whatever reason, whatever his reasons were. Yeah.
That just goes to show the
Yes.
power of influence. You think
Influencing.
about cults and you think about religion, you think about gangs. I mean, influence is across the
100%.
gamut.
100%.
For sure.
One thing that we can be sure of is Hitler was an influencer.
There you
Oh,
go.
wow. Yes.
And a very
what
good
was his
example.
motivation?
Well, I mean, that's been up for discussion
Yeah.
for as long as,
But
you
could
know,
we
his
could we summarize it into
heinous
into a gentle, like not a gentle, but a generic
power.
Yeah,
Power.
Power. I don't know that he was driven by money.
Mhm.
I believe he was driven by power. And Tony Robbins talks about the 6 human needs all the time. And there's that need for certainty, that need for uncertainty, that need for love and connection, there's so many different reasons that we do things. And if you look at, he had a need for, significance. That's the third one. Significance. He had a
significance.
need for significance. He had a need for certainty. Things had to look a certain way. That's why he did some of the heinous things that he did. And if you can look at I haven't done this yet, but I'm thinking about it. And if you're a fan of Tony Robbins, maybe you can type in the comments what you think the top 3 human needs are that would be in common with influencers, like a Ted Danson or poor Ted. He's the only example that
Sorry,
we're
I
using
know.
right
Sorry.
now. But there's so many out there.
And then on the flip side, there are so many good people out there. Like Diary of a CEO, Stephen Bartlett has all these amazing people come on. And I've learned so much about health, about spirituality, just things that grow the mind. I love those type of people. I love listening to them because I feel like they're not in it for the power. They're not in it for the money. And they are just inspiring us to be better humans.
What are they in it for? Like the contribution,
the contribution and the service.
I think Tony Robbins is in that
100%.
category.
Tony
100%.
Robbins is in there. Someone that I just listened, I love. I was listening to Tara Swart, Dr. Tara Swart, a neurosurgeon who is talking about so many amazing things about combining spirituality with neuroscience and how they're not separate, but they're together, something that I absolutely adore. And health, inspiring women. Dr. Mindy Peltz is talking about hormones and how it influences menopause. There are so many good people out there.
Yeah, that's true.
There
We
are
should
so many
mention
good
that.
people
Yeah.
out there that talk about things that help us grow as humans, be better humans. And I wish there was more of that instead of the other stuff. I have 4 daughters. And so when I see the negative side of influencing, it really, really, really does blow my mind. Because my daughters are being influenced. They didn't go on social media until COVID hit. My older 2, who are now 20 and 21. And the only reason why they were allowed to go on social media is because everybody needed contact with their friends. And so we allowed them. And then it was hard to pare it back once school began. And I see that they're influenced. I see that the sometimes the clothes they want to wear, or the way they do their makeup, the way they pose, they have they have fish lips when they pose for pictures, and I'm like, it's not natural, it's not normal. Just show your teeth, smile, just put a big smile. Everyone has gorgeous teeth, so that's that's what I want to see less of, and I just want to see more people that do have that influence, like Oprah, like Tony Robbins, like Deepak Chopra, all the great spiritual people out there. I want those people out there providing growth for us.
So I just want to say, before we did this podcast, Meeka was talking and she was saying something that just hit me. And she said, we need to talk, we need to think for ourselves.
Yes.
I think, yes, we're all sitting here talking about positive influencers, negative influencers. At the end of the day, the responsibility lies on us to choose. Is it not? I mean, we have to decipher, yes, the wall, did I really want this wall, or is it something I'm being influenced with? The breasts, is it something I really want, or is it, at the end of the day, some responsibility lies on us and our choices.
Amen.
Yeah, totally agree with that. And that's what I'm sitting here thinking about, is if I'm in the loop of being under the influence, the thoughts that are coming to me is, that's why I asked the question, because if I can see that who I'm listening to, who I'm watching, who I'm being influenced by, they may have a different motive, which might be power, money, it could be a couple of other reasons. I can now decide if I want to hand over that power to them. Do I want to allow that into me? At the end of the day, it's going to be me that decides. And if I can develop my discernment and see that, there's something they're gaining from this, it may look altruistic, but quite often I'm not sure that it is altruistic when someone is trying to sell you something or influence you to do something. They may be getting sponsorship or being paid or somehow. And I think if we can just be mindful of that, it may help us kind of come to that question of, is this something that I really want? And what is influencing me? And there's another, like, so much good work is being done on this too. There's a woman I've just come across recently. I don't know her name on Instagram, but she'll sit and say, these are things that are no, these are not necessarily normal. And she'll say, having an Amazon package arrive at your doorstep every day, it's not normal. So she says,
I like
please,
that.
and she goes, please keep scrolling if you're very rich or, whatever it is. But for the average person, and she just lists off a whole bunch of things about things that we've normalized, like showing off a shopping haul every day is not a normal thing. Going to the spa every day, like whatever it is. But she really beautifully just kind of makes you get de-influenced, because then you kind of feel foolish and think, yeah, like, why do I have an Amazon package coming every day? And
do you, Sandy?
I do, definitely do not. But I think for the people that, she's coming across, I think it may help balance out the people that are influenced to purchase, consume, just blindly, just kind of keep going. And she just presents the other side of it. And she's super, like, she comes across very confident and just no nonsense. And she has, I think, an ability to be a great influencer. And I think what she's doing is helping to counterbalance some of the stuff that, many of us get caught in without paying attention, where we're unconsciously buying into some of these things. And she's just a great voice to have in your head and kind of go, yeah, like, is this normal? Like, is this something that I need to be doing just because it seems like people on various social media platforms do it on a regular? So it's really good. I think if more people can be brave and more people can tap into whatever is not aligning for them and speak about it and share it and question it, I think it will a lot of people will lend their support to that.
And I think as parents, we need to question what the kids are watching or what the kids are doing, and just get them to stop and consider. I have received so much pushback from my girls when they were younger. They weren't allowed to wear nail polish. They were not allowed to wear regular nail polish because I was informed. And I knew that all the chemicals in nail polish are all endocrine disruptors. And the kids just looked at me and they're like, come on, Mom, please just let us wear nail polish. And I would say no, but I would help you find an alternative that was vegan or very clean that wouldn't harm them. These are growing children.
With hormones.
With hormones, for goodness sake, especially girls. And so they push back and push back and push back, but they were not allowed to wear anything that had chemicals in it. So I did this for as long as I could. and then Sephora hit.
Oh my gosh. And I think about McDonald's, the influence of McDonald's, that they're using this clown that is loving everyone and entertaining the children. And so then the golden arches with the sound effects and then the smell when you get there. There's so many elements of influence that is programming the playground. So a child cannot pass by a McDonald's without having a tantrum or a crying fit about wanting to go, because there's the clown and there's the Happy Meal and there's the playground and the toy and the Happy Meal. All these things we're being influenced by. And it really does come down to, for me, I love what you were sharing, Sandeep, about the choices that we have and making that positive influence and noticing and being curious about it is so powerful, and taking responsibility at the end of the day for ourselves and for our children. And Bob Proctor taught me that, he was one of my mentors who's since passed away, an absolute legend in the industry. And he taught us that 0 to 4, we are 50% programmed. By the time we are 18, we are 85% programmed to do things that we don't even recognize that we're doing. And majority of our life is spent, if we're aware, and this is the big if we're aware, we spend the rest of our adult life unprogramming, unlearning some of the things that we've learned, because we believe that lipstick is XYZ, boobs are XYZ, the golden arches are XYZ, whatever story we're telling ourselves that justifies why we're making this purchase or this change or living this lifestyle is all based on a belief that we have chosen to take on. So on one hand, yes, there is blaming the actor for taking this ad to pay his bills. We don't know what his situation is. We could have Mother Teresa compassion for him, or we could say you have a responsibility as an actor that is of the same demographic as his audience that he's pitching to. And there's also, like Sandeep was saying, take responsibility and recognizing that, okay, am I using critical thinking here? I know that they're trying to sell me something. Yay me for recognizing that. Is it something that I really want, or is it something that I think I want because it's going to get me status or money or influence or whatever it is? It's stopping and asking yourself the question, stopping and saying, what's really going on here? If 85% of my mind is pre-programmed to belong, am I doing this for belonging? Am I doing this because I think it's going to make me money? Am I doing this because I think my husband won't leave me if I have bigger lips or whatever it is? And gosh, not to shame anybody for crying out loud. I had fake breasts for 25 years, and in the modeling industry, I had my eyes done at 18. I had, I starved myself. I struggled with anorexia. So I've been through the gamut, and I understand the influence that happens. I never looked at it, though. I didn't recognize what it was. And if we can educate our children to recognize that and put them into the power seat, put ourselves into the power seat of making that decision versus letting them have the power and the influence. Like, it's a 2-millimeter shift that changes everything.
Amen to
Fabulously,
that. Yeah.
beautifully said.
Very beautifully summarized.
And for me, I was also thinking that, you have a choice. And speaking of choices, you can be the one who is influenced. Or what about shifting into being an influencer yourself? And I'm going to give a shout out to women who I've been coming across more and more in their 40s, maybe maybe 40s, maybe 50s, who are letting themselves go beautiful, natural silver hair.
Mm.
And I go out of my way because I find them so magnetic. And I'm drawn to them because there's something about what they're doing that says to me, this is a woman who is determining her own value, her own worth.
Mm.
She's deciding what feels good to her. She's not letting anyone make her feel that she's got to continue dyeing her hair.
Mhm.
And I'll just go to them and say, I just love your hair. And I love, and then, there'll be a bit of a back and forth. And I really just love that influence because the
Yes.
more we see of that, the more that becomes normalized.
Yes.
And,
Oh my
just
gosh.
that choice. And they're owning it. They're not saying, oh my God, you think, oh, it looks horrible. They're like, yeah, don't you love it? Like, it just, I know, I just love the freedom of not having to dye my hair anymore. And I'm just like, I'm really jealous. Like, I really just love it. But I don't need to be jealous. I could decide to, also do the same. But I love that influence because for
Yes.
me, that's a woman who's just taken charge of herself and she's deciding what beauty standard she's going to subscribe to.
Mhm.
And so shout out to the silver foxes out there. I just love you. I really do. But there's many more ways that all of us can become influencers in our own life. And one of the conscious things I did, and I think I hope my daughter will agree, is that I made it a point to always look in a mirror in front of her and say, I just love the way I look today. Oh my gosh, I love this outfit on me. And I wanted her to hear that positive. I wanted to be a positive role model. And I never wanted her to ever think that she had a mom that was not happy with some part of my
Oh, good
physique.
for you, Sandeep.
And more than that, of course, there's deeper, you can go inside of your attributes, your personality and all of that. But really, that was my intentional influence on my daughter
Mm,
to have a mom that was just happy however she looked.
nice.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think choice is huge. Choice for ourselves.
How fabulous. There is a clip on YouTube and we will put it in the description. I highly recommend. It's old. It's from the 60s and it's blue-eyed, brown-eyed, and it's a teacher that does an experiment in the classroom with kids that are 7 or 8 years old. And it is a spectacular short clip. It's maybe 6 or 7 minutes, and it jarred me, and it had tremendous influence on my life in the most positive of way in helping me recognize that I really am under the influence, even when I don't think that I am. And so I'm going to leave it at that for me. I think
That's
this was
good. That's
spectacular.
good.
Anything anyone wants to add on the end of influence?
No, I think we said our piece.
Anything
Our
you're going to
bits.
do differently after this episode?
I think just be conscious of my choices and ask that same question. Am I doing this because I want to, or somehow somebody influenced me that it's going to bring me joy, or that attachment, or that, belonging? That was a very important point for me because belonging is huge. It's not always money, it's just wanting to be loved.
Mm-hmm.
And I think
Mm.
the other thing is belonging and community. We want a community.
Yeah.
Let's build things where we have that safety of a community again,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
We are your community.
Yeah.
Come
There
and
we
be
go.
with us. We love you. We want you, whether you have real boobs or fake boobs or Botox or no Botox,
Botox.
we love you unconditionally. It's really, what do you want? That's all that matters. What do you want? Though I will say, if you are an influencer, one of my coaches said to me, and there's going to be an F-bomb here because I want to do it verbatim. He said, Meeka, you are a leader and people are following you. So you better know where the fuck you're going.
Mhm.
Nice.
And
How about the why you're going there? Does that matter?
yeah, it does. Absolutely. Yeah, that's a whole nother
Yeah.
episode. Let us know how this one landed on you, ladies and gentlemen, what you took away. Maybe you have a story you'd like to add and share. Maybe there's a link to something that you want to share with us. We are so open to your feedback, your ideas, and let us know what you think about this background. We could do like a Price is Right. Ta-da! The new background. All right, ladies.
All right.
With that,
See you next time.
The views shared on this podcast reflect our personal experiences and opinions. This content is not a substitute for professional advice. Please consult a qualified expert for any medical, legal, or mental health concern. If this conversation spoke to you, please follow the Ladies in Power podcast and leave us a review. Your voice helps more people find this sisterhood and these conversations. Together we rise. And remember, your voice matters here.